Hey everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis and we've got a new deck and it's featuring around two mechanics. Usually we just do one, but let me tell you what's going on, especially for the new people. And if you're new, like and subscribe. June is sort of an anniversary month for me. I started, this is my third year now. I started just a tad over 2 years ago. This YouTube channel showing my YouTube play for Magic the Gathering Online Arena. And I debuted it with an introduction of all the different mechanics that Wizards of the Coast has identified, such as flying, for example. And I think we just see if we can surprise them at all. We have a Zephyr Sentinel we can flash in. We block and trade, and we're done. So, next, Arrington Giada. Now we can look at the top of our library and we can cast flash spells from there, so we've got the possibility of doing something extra. And pass. So I have a deck from this year, this month of June, that's all about flying. I've got one that's all about vigilance and so on and so forth, and they're on the playlist, so you can find that easy enough. And what do we want to do versus these people? We'll take the hit, we'll take the poison. And we had a small interruption for a few days because I got invited to the early access event for Lord of the Rings, so I have to make up some time. So I'm doing two versions instead of one, two mechanics instead of one. One is Flash, and the other is Kicker, so I call the deck KickFlash. And we're going to pay the Kicker cost. We're going to get rid of the tapped creature and get Arrington Giada back. And we get to Scry 2, and although I do want the lands, I feel like I could just at least skip one of those for right now and pass. We do want to get to where we can cast the Hullbreaker Horror. And they just have yet another one, huh? Okay, fine. You know what, let's do this. Ah, we made the mill a Mondrak. That's good. We still ended up getting a land. And 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and just draw some cards. I feel like we've got time. 4 cards is a decent payoff from... Oh, hello. Yeah, okay, so lands aren't going to be a problem this time. I ended up putting in 25 lands, 1 extra land, so we're up to 61 because the first couple of times I tried to playtest this, it would give me 2 or 3 lands and that was it. And my enemy would get, you know, by the time they got 5 lands out, they'd pretty much dismantled me. What happens if we do this? You go back up. I'll gain 3 life out of it. And I get to draw a card. They're thinking. We made them think. Alright. They let it happen. And although that's Flash and Flying, and I can cast spells with Flash or Flying from the top of my library, all it would do is replace the one I already have, which makes no sense. So, we won't bother with that. Alright, if they are so insistent on using the Annex Sentry on Aaron and Giada, let's give up trying to get the regional back. We'll just put it in... Oh, this is cute. Okay. So Magic playing poker with me. I'm hoping they'll have some removal and just... Oh, they... Oh, hello. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like any of this. There's a big limit on Aaron and Giada's ability. For the only thing it's going to show me at the top of the deck is Aaron and Giada every time. So let's get rid of... We'll tap you. And since I have a legendary out, we can go ahead and do 4 damage to you, get rid of you permanently. We'll keep the existing Giada, and we block you. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What else do we want to do? I think we just want to throw you away. Get some life back. Ooh, and we got a flash there. That's kind of cool. But I want to get rid of you. And we'll just start attacking. This is based on an offense-only type of thing. If we have higher health than them, we've got it in the bag, because I got flyers. Plus, I now have enough land, I can flash in the Hullbreaker Horror, and I can flash in Supply Drop whenever I feel like. So we finally got there. We do need a critical mass of land to really make this deck pop, in my opinion. But that's mostly because we last long enough that we get the Hullbreaker Horror. And we made our opponent act like they are a blue player. Look at how long they're taking to figure out what to do. Because their plan, the plan they started with, is not working. You need an attacker in order to get more citizens. And you are going to get one attacker. But it ain't going to be enough to outscale me here. So what are all these other cards you have? And yet again, we arrive at the most exciting portion of anybody who's trying to create content on YouTube, the part where they rope us. Because they didn't get their way. Because I wouldn't just lay down and die for them. And so, as always happens, Wizards, if you're listening, I want a YouTube format channel instead of standard or alchemy channel. I want a format where people know they're going to be recording the games, and we don't get 3 chances to rope. You get 1 rope, and then you're gone. You're done. You lose. Because this is a little ridiculous, and it's not like they got called away or suddenly they got a bout of diarrhea. They were fine when they had creatures on the board, and they were getting their stuff all set up here, and they were thinking that they could go ahead and beat me. And as soon as the worm turns, then all of a sudden they're really slow to play a spell. It's alright. We will go in and show you the entire deck. Okay, so as I said, June is Evergreen month. We choose terms that Wizards of the Coast has identified is being either Evergreen or Deciduous. Evergreens means that they're going to be in every set. Deciduous means that the designers can use them anytime they want to use them in a set. And Kicker's a very popular one. They keep bringing it back. And the thing is, for us, it's been in enough sets in the last couple of years that it really feels like it's Evergreen already. I think technically it's still on the Deciduous list. It won't necessarily be in every single set, but it is very common, and there's been a number of multicolor sets, right? Starting back with Streets of New Capenna was a 3-color set. Dominaria United it was like a domain set, so you could go up to 5 colors. They made it kind of a little bit easier to play 5 colors. So when you have that kind of thing, Wizard likes to do this with the kicker cost, is cross-color. Cross-color kicker is what I call it, where you have one color to cast the main spell, and then your complementary color to cast the kicker cost. And this is when Wizards sort of wants to give you options and show you, hey, here's one way you could make up a deck, here's another way you could make up a deck. And they kind of set up these sort of traffic lights with the colors on the kickers to show you, hey, this is what you can do if you want to go this route. So we've got Runic Shot, destroy target tap creature. If we pay 1 extra blue, we can scry as well, which is very useful. So the only problem I have against this is if they have creatures with Vigilance, which white and green do a lot. Over here, Resolute Reinforcements, just 1. This is for the flash part. You can cast a spell with flash at any time you can cast an instant. So that means our creatures become instants, our sorceries become instants, everything gets sped up, and we have a lot more flexibility with the timing when we have flash cards. Disturbing Conversation, enchant creature. Each player mills 2 cards, and the enchanted creature gets -X to the power, where X is the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. I'm not sure why they have both players mill 2 cards. Maybe because there's like the idea of making your own deck a graveyard recursion type thing. I kind of think they should just mill the opponent 2 cards and let them, because it's all based on the number of cards in the controller's graveyard, not you. But I guess maybe you would want to at some point put the flash on your own creature. I guess you could have some sort of scenario where that's relevant. Short Circuit also has flash. Enchanted Permanent is a creature. It gets -3 and loses flying. Spectral Adversary is a creature with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you can pay extra mana. One of them has to be blue. When you pay it 1 or more times, you put that many counters on the Spectral Adversary. Then up to that many other targets, artifact, creatures, and or enchantments phase out. So if you're trying to save one of yours, you could pay 2 to flash this in, pay an extra 2 to phase out that particular thing that's under threat. Or say you had like 3 big enemies that were going to wipe you out and you had 6 extra mana. You could spend a total of 8 mana. 4 of it would have to be blue, but you could go ahead and bring this puppy in, turn it from a 2-1 into a 5-4, and you could phase out all 3 of your attackers. Zephyr Sentinel, Soldier, Flash Flying, 2-1. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature you control to its owner's hand. If it was a soldier, you put a +1/+1 counter on the Sentinel. So if we have one of these out, we can flash in another one, return the first one to our hand, and instead of a 2-1, this becomes a 3-2. 1 Silver Scrutiny, you saw me use that for card draw. It acts as though it had flash if we cast it for 3 or less for X. So if we just want to draw 3 cards, we could cast this during our opponent's turn. Stall for Time, 3 mana to just tap 2 target creatures. If we have 5 mana, we can put a stun counter on each of those, and they'll stay tapped for an extra turn, and it replaces itself, it draws a card. Chrome Prowler is a 3/2 Phyrexian Cat. We can flash it in and tap target creature and opponent controls. That, again, disrupts attack, gives us a little tempo. Tolarian Geyser, although it's a sorcery, I'm still trying it out because it fits the kicker theme. 3 mana to return a target creature to its owner's hand. If we have 1 extra white mana, we gain 3 life, and this is another one that it's a cantrip. You draw a card and it replaces itself. Kind of the centerpiece, Errant Giada from March of the Machines, 2/3 Angel with flash and flying. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, and you can cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. 1 Supply Drop is my one little combat tactic. Target creature you control gets +2/+2. You can flash it in anytime I want, and for 4 I can sacrifice it and draw a card. We have from Kamigawa the legendary Dragon Spirit Coyote, Soul of Kamigawa. 3/3 flyer with flash. When it enters the battlefield, another target permanent gains indestructible as long as Coyote is still under my control. I don't have the multicolors, right? I stuck with white and blue, so we can't pump Coyote up for the +5/+5. Prayer of Binding, an enchantment, but we can flash it in. Exile a target non-land permanent, and we gain 2 life out of it. So I've got a little bit of, I've got 8 spells in here that gain life in that sense. Next, Swooping Protector, Flash Flyer, enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Depopulate, my 1 board wipe. Will that be enough? We'll see. The guy on the deck sleeve, Haliad Radiant Dawn. This one enters the battlefield. You can return an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand, and then for 3 and a blue, we can transform it into Haliad the Warped Eclipse. And then we can cast spells as though they had flash. So even if we don't have flash, if we have like the kicker spells that were sorceries, suddenly those become flash spells. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. So if it's happening during their turn, we automatically got a spell that's 1 mana cheaper if we want to cast it during their turn, which we can now because we have him, and it's flash. Overcharged Amalgam, Flash Flying, and Exploit. We can bring it in on our opponent's turn, we can exploit a creature, and suddenly we can counter a target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. And finally, 1 Hullbreaker Horror, and I don't think this card needs an introduction. I could have tried for 2, but I was already at 60 cards, and I went to 61 just to make sure I had enough land. And hopefully that's enough land. The one thing I left out is I don't have anything that destroys enemy enchantments or artifacts, which I usually have 1 or 2 things in the deck that does it. So that could be our undoing. We'll see how we do today. A lot of what happens is I'll start with my theme, which in this case was making sure we had enough flash spells and kicker spells to make my KickFlash deck. And by the time I was done, I had room for 1 board wipe, and that was it. I thought this was a nice way to try and catch up, since I spent 3 or 4 days just putting together the videos and posting them as fast as I could upload to YouTube. I kept encountering technical difficulties, so I didn't get them up as fast as I wanted to. I wanted to get like 2 videos up every day and that kind of thing, and I wasn't able to do it. But we went through pretty much all of the Evergreen actions. Evergreen abilities, all the Tramplin, the Death Touch, and the Lifelink, and the Double Strike. So if you just go to the YouTube playlist that I have, you think this will die? It'll probably die. We'll let them look at it for a second. They probably have removal, and I probably should have waited till their turn to flash it in. But they didn't remove it during my turn, so let's see what happens next. That's a disgusting card. How do we want to do this? Because I just missed a land drop. I think I just go ahead and attack. And they should try and attack with this. They should think it will be okay. I do want to use this. Herbrass Forge again. So I may have to put in something to get rid of artifacts, especially if they're going to get this that early. Let's see if they're smart enough to hold on to their Iconoclast. I've got 3 open mana. Nope. Okay, so we flash this in. This is not a soldier, so we're not going to target another creature. We'll just block Iconoclast so they don't keep giving us these 1/1 soldiers. And then we'll use the kicker. 4 mana gets rid of that. We gain 3 life and draw a card. That's going to help us with our card draw. And we don't really care about Herbrass Forge because, again, we're going to be ahead on life. At least that's the theory. This is non land permanent, right? So we'll get rid of Urbrass Forge. Oh, hello. Scared of you. That was gross. Now, technically, my play could use better timing because I have Flash. I'm kind of just casting these like the regular enchantments and sorceries right now. And partly just because I get distracted by making sure that I'm running a good enough commentary, that I explain my actions and what's going on. That sometimes I get my timing wrong. So I didn't want to get my timing wrong on that one. But in this case, I think it's okay to just depopulate. And we have to do that as a regular sorcery. That's because they have Iconoclast, and I don't want them to make too many of the 1/1 soldiers. They already had enough. I need a different kind of creature other than the Iconoclast to really make this useful. Hello. Oh, nice! They sacrificed their enchantment so they could get free the forge again. I kind of like the way they think. I'm going to have trouble with this card, aren't I? Alright, let's try this again. You don't have counterspells too, do you? Evidently not. They got something that holds up priority. I like this move though. They didn't want to. They gave up their uprising because they valued the Urbrass Forge better, so they used Fatal Grudge to do it. That's a nice play. It's just top deck luck that I had a second one ready. Aha, Mishra. Okay. What do we want to do against Mishra? I think we just wait and kill it? Because that's another one where it can still attack, and when it attacks it still has an impact. So getting its power down to 0 is not enough. I need to have... Oh, hello. They got the meld thing going on. Let's go ahead and draw 3 cards. I've got 5 mana. It's really good to use your mana when you can. I like to save Silver Scrutiny for longer because it's my only big draw card spell, but in this case, I think it's acceptable. Okay, so let's try a Runic Shot. It only costs us 2 to kick it, so we can get rid of 1 and let it scry. We'll see if they have something that counters it. If they have a counterspell here, that would be awesome for them to use it. Huh. Interesting. Next. 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough to kick that like I wanted to. So, let's kill their Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Because we do have enough to bring in the Swooping Protector. And the shield counter is going to save it from the first strike out of the double strike. Stesnia comes down. They use most of their stuff. Excellent. We swoop in, flash it. They didn't expect that. We block the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Shield counter goes away. We trade. We're down to 13. Let's go ahead and play Disturbing Conversion on that puppy. What did we lose? Just two cards? 2 lands? Okay. And what did they lose? 2 lands as well? Okay, so that seems like it's fair. And next thing we want to do is nothing. We have Resolute Reinforcements. We can flash that in if they want to attack with the peasants. There comes another Forge, which could be a problem for us because our life is getting a little low here. They get rid of a creature. So they just did that to draw a card because there was no impact on me. We'll just block all the damage. And that's an instant, so we can wait. We can wait till we get... Oh no, not a third one. This is Arena's way of telling me I really need to put in something to destroy artifacts. Okay, we'll let that happen. We'll let those two resolve, and then we do this with the kicker. We'll tap you, we'll tap the more powerful one. Stun counter on each of them, and then we draw a card. We do take 1 point of damage. And having 2 forges out is really bad for us. That's 3 forges out and they're only 24 cards into their deck. 20% of the deck and they got 75% of their forges. Arena really doesn't like me. And now they have 2 corpse cobbles. And they get rid of Stenzia because they finally hit the right thing. Okay, so we will bring out Heliod. We will bring out Prayer of Binding. We will go ahead and get rid of that for Prayer of Binding. And we get a couple life points. And if we don't get land, we may have to bring in Hullbreaker Horror without using the flash capability. I can't stop the menace. I'm kind of counting on the fact that we can block that without Heliod dying. Please, please. What's the final card you got? They've got enough extra mana, that's for sure. They can pay for pretty much anything they want. Okay, so they sacrifice. Those two get another one with Menace, which is not cool, man. Okay, so 3, 6, 7. So if I just do this for 1 and I don't pay the kicker cost, get rid of you. What else do we want to do? I feel like we could flash that. Let's just keep our options open. They can't use Corpse Cobble again. So, this goes back up and we get rid of the 3/3 Menace. We flash this onto Phyrexian Dragon Engine. And there goes the 4th Forge, thankfully. And then we flash in the Zephyr Sentinel. We choose 0. We're down to 3. I think we need to... I guess we have to block this way. The Sticky Fingers got through, but they just got a treasure token out of it. Okay. Return to... Oh, that's perfect. Gain 3 life. Play the land. Have enough to activate this Do I? Oh no, I don't. Do I? Oh yes, I do. It's only 4. I don't have to pay life. Now it's a 4/6 instead of a 4/4, and we can afford to block from Urbrass Forge. I'm all tapped out though to do all that, and I've used up 3 of my 4 prayers of binding, and I need the 4th one now. Typically, people don't last this long against 3 Urbrass Forge. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! That's a top deck and a half. That was a top deck and a half. Crap in a hat. Come on through. I need a 1 or 2 mana spell now, just to get my Heliod back. And I got a land. Gotta be kidding me. Okay, so Zephyr becomes a chump blocker. 3, 4, 6, 7. I can't really afford to sacrifice that and draw a card. I mean, I could, but I couldn't play anything. All I could do is flash. Oh, geez, they got a flyer coming up next. So that means Heliod, I've got to block. Well, Heliod's going to be a chump block, because this has... Oh, hang on. But I don't have enough life to pay the ward cost for Vika, and I already used my 1 board. I only used my 1 board wipe, right? Yeah, I used to populate already. They can't counter this. What are they waiting to do? I can't believe they got a Blue Sun's Twilight and an Ovika. It's like Wizards gave them exactly everything that they needed right away. All at once. They've got a treasure, so they've got 3 if they want to pay for something. But don't be greedy. You got a Blue Sun's Twilight and an Ovika from your Dragon Engine. Let's go ahead and draw a card now. He can afford to say, nice, he's winning. Alright. We get this. We flash this in. We return non-land permanent to its owner's hand because you did not attack with it when you could have. We return this one to our hand. We bring this down. Return permanent to its owner's hand. Go ahead and get an aura. Should we attack? Yeah, we should attack. Yes, we should. Okay. They've got plenty of money. They can bring down the Forge again. What else do they want to try and do? Blue Sun's Twilight. No. Return permanent to its owner's hand. Or hang on, do I want to just counter the spell? Return target spell. You can have your spell back. I don't need to return anything, right? Oh, they give up! They didn't want a chump block. They might have had... Oh, that was so close! I was so sure Wizards was cheating for them by giving them Blue Sun's Twilight. All the forges, all the mana they needed to take over my creatures. How are we winning that? And we killed our opponent's creatures. We got our daily chore done for the day. Now that's more of an exciting kind of match where it seems like it could go either way. You're running on the seat of your pants. That's so much better than these roping videos I've been getting for the last 3 months. Every now and then you have a really good match and it makes it all worthwhile. Regular number of cards. Hello, Antonio. Let's have another good match like that. That was one to make you sweat. Urbrass Forge, 4 copies. What in the world? Okay, so we put that in so we can afford the flash. If this is something like a Hadi Jin deck, it could be kind of interesting. I feel like it is. Let's go ahead and flash this in at the end of their turn. If they have counterspells, yes. Okay. Hadi Jin comes in. They should have protection for it, right? They've got the 1 mana open. Let's see if I just try and return it to their hand, if they let me do it. Oh, hello. If I'd known that, I would have done Prayer Binding. What in the world are you doing putting that out unprotected? That's disgusting. Teferi. Gross.
Heard you needed a hero. There is much the past can teach us.
Okay, so we'll just do Prayer Binding for that one. That's probably the better choice. It all worked out.
Travel is harder than it looks.
Try it again. You should have a counterspell by now. They went digging for one. And they're still digging. So we can't kill the Jinn. But maybe we won't need to. They're getting so much more land than us. Okay, now what do? I don't have any enchantments there to bring out Heliod yet. And that thing has Ward, and they still have 1 mana up, which could mean just about anything at this point. I think we use what we got. Let's try and get more life out of it. I wish we hadn't gotten so many of these right up front. Okay, so they finally counter something. And we won't be long for this world. Another shoot. This is like their perfect hand.
Sake of the future, I will defend the past.
I need to depopulate.
Nobody knows the past.
This is too early for Hullbreaker Horror. And I still don't have any enchantments. 3, 4, 5, 6. What do I do with 6? I'm kind of counting on them to cast some kind of spell so I can bring in the Amalgam. There we go. That only cost them 4. We let that happen. We sacrifice our flyer. So we stopped the card draw. They were going to draw 7 cards. That would have been devastating to us. As if this isn't devastating enough.
Interesting fact.
6, 10, 15. There's nobody I can block with that. Okay, so we have Runic Shot. Pay it. Nope. Wasn't much we could do. I don't know that there was... We just got... Out of all the spells we got 3 Tellurian Geysers. That's just really not enough. Even if we flash this in... No, we're done. There's no way. 3 attackers and they were not going to hold back. I needed like a whole extra turn just to cast my Silver Scrutiny. See if there was any way I could catch up. Took everything I had just to try and counter their draw card advantage. Of course, if I'd had Heliod out and I had a bunch of flashes or instants and stuff, that could have been interesting. I could have emptied my whole hand as soon as I used Flow of Knowledge. I think we save our Runic Shot for something more than a 1/1. Maybe a 3/3 if they use it all. They kept 2 mana open? What happens if we just do this to them? Are you keeping the 2 mana open for a counterspell? Or protection? You let that happen. I guess if I miss my land drop, I'm going to have to use Otawara. Ah, I got 2 of them. Okay. That's not too bad then. Why are they keeping 4 mana open? So will I. What if they flash in like a Wandering Emperor? Then I can flash in my Prayer of Binding, right? Feels bad to not do anything with 4 mana. Oh, but that's the kind of game it is, huh? 3, 6, 7. I can't really afford to... I didn't get a land. Let's go ahead and run this out. See what they do to it. I'm expecting a counterspell. Yeah. Okay, so they scry because that was maybe the only one they had handy, and they were just saving it up. They like everything that's coming up. Sarah Redeemer. It doesn't have vigilance. Let's try and be patient here. Okay. 2 removal spells. They got 6 mana. Homestead Courage, good, they finally used that up. Do you have another counterspell? Yes, you do. And they have 6 mana, and I got 5 versus a control deck, and that is not good. They still have 3 up. What happens if... That's not really good enough. Okay. Let's just try this because it's an extra. I can't play it as a land. And it's not a spell, right? So they'd have to spend 5 just to cast it again. And now we have enough to counter a make disappear. Unless they do a casualty make disappear. That is a problem for me. But let's try this. We'll flash this in on their turn. So they still have something. They don't mind it. Let's try it. We'll try it on this turn. If it's another Assimilate Essence, they've got me beat again. But I'm kind of anticipating a make disappear using casualty to get rid of Survivor Corliss. The way that they're willing to just... Hello. Okay. I can attack. I did not expect you to do nothing, opponent. Maybe they have something that destroys enchantments, unlike me. They use a board wipe on a 2/1 flyer? They have an embarrassment of riches here. And I have land. Let's go draw something. Okay, that's a little bit better. Go back up. I get to draw a card in. I gain 3 life. I needed that. And oh look, it's a Sarah Redeemer. Where have we seen those before? Okay, now's where we start to have some fun finally. Chrome Prowler. This is why Chrome Prowler's in the deck. It's only 1 copy, but it taps. And so I don't need to wait and lose points, because if they're tapped, once they're tapped I can destroy them. Yes! 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got enough to bring down Hullbreaker Horror. I think I don't get rid of the land draw. I do need the land because I want to cast Hullbreaker and protect it. And since they're nearly out of ammo, I should have enough time here. Yes, I do. Maybe I should have saved that for a flyer, but... They don't want to chump block yet. If they can wait and chump block it later when another creature's out, they could at least give another creature a shield counter. When's the last time you saw somebody trying to use Broker's Veteran anyway? They got 2 cards and not using anything. We're close to Hullbreaker Horror days. And they chump block. Yes! No shield counter for your other creature. They didn't want to go lower. They're at 15's still kind of a lot of health. I probably would have held out a little bit longer at just making good out of that shield counter if it were me. These draws are not the best for them, evidently, if they're just hoarding them. I'm assuming they're counter spells then? That's the one drawback to a counterspell heavy deck, is if your opponent gets something on the board, it's already too late. Runic Shot? How about this? They have Runic Shot? Is this a mirror match? Do you have Runic Shot plus a counterspell? Do they still get to scry? They do. That seems wrong. They didn't actually destroy the creature. It doesn't matter. It's just if the spell was kicked or not. Ooh. 3, 6, 7. I can't really do that. I think we attack first. If they're not going to do anything, I'm not even going to bring out Errant and Giada because they could have another depopulate, right? There's no reason when we're this close to winning that I throw fodder out there. That's not a big deal. Play the land. Okay, now we flash it in. If it's counterspell, that's okay. Land, alright. And now, we are set. We can flash in Hullbreaker Horror, and we can flash something off the top of our deck. And they have to block somebody, or they get lethal. Soldiers get +1/+1. Okay. You're now a 3/4. I'll just return that one to my hand. You're down to 1. And now I can flash in my dragon in case you have another runic shot that you want to try on anybody. And they leave! It worked again. It's been a while since I did a control-ish type of deck in this vein, so I'm going to do one more because I'm enjoying myself. Much more than I thought I would. Some of these days, some of these environments, you just have like land starving and land flooding, or your opponent's roping, or all three. So far, the playtesting, there was a lot of land starvation. So I did put the one extra land in. That seems to have done the trick. But I'm kind of having fun playing the game today. That's always a good thing. And I'm playing a little bit more correctly, if you saw. I'm waiting till the end of my opponent's turn to do a lot of the flash stuff now. Do we bother bringing in the Sentinel? There's so much stuff there. Yeah. We do that. We attack. So it was the right call. We get first blood. Do we play a Ganjo or do we save a Ganjo? Ooh. That has flash. How often do you see 4 mana by black, mono black, and they don't have a removal spell? What is this deck? What is in this deck? It is a Planeswalker. Okay. Give me a flyer, please.
Vengeance, bloody and
Perfect.
righteous.
We flash in this.
serve me
We tap
well.
the flyer. We bring in you. We go and we take out the Planeswalker.
To darkness I return.
And now we have a Ganjo in case they want to attack with the 2/3. I'm willing to live at 4 mana for a while. Pass to blockers. I don't think they have anything to save it, so get rid of the token. What else you got? You got 5 mana. Or as they say in certain sections of the country, mana. Oh. So evil. Okay. There's nothing as far as an enchantment to bring back. I don't have a reason to do anything this turn. If that's all, the opponent's going to Shieldred. Hello, Shieldred. Are you going to equip the crown on it? There you go. We're going to flash in Prayer of Binding and get rid of Shieldred, if that's okay with you. And we're not going to do anything again. And they wanted to ban Shieldred. Phyrexian Arena, okay. You do that. That's all you're going to do, right? Oh, hello. Karn Silex. Well, I'm going to flash in Air Ninjata then. What else do I want to do? Let's see. Destroy non-land permanent X or less. So... that's... I guess I'm just attacking. I'm probably going to lose my creature. They're going to use the Silex, aren't they? But if they use the Silex, that's permanent mana value X or less, so they'll get Shieldred back, they'll lose the arena, they'll lose the crown, and I can depopulate. Am I okay with that? Or are they going to do something else in the meantime? Looks like they have other options they're going to do. Oh no, don't do Chapter 1. I still have Heliod in my hand. Oh! Don't want to lose Heliod. Goodbye, Heliod. It's my only copy. They don't really have a creature there. The problem is they can now put Heliod in from my graveyard to them. That's okay because I can return stuff, so nobody cares there. Cut down. That's going to get rid of my creature. They don't need to use the Silex just yet. And they get to see everything that I have. And I have nothing useful right now. Three life. They're just going to go get another Shieldred, aren't they? That takes them down to 6. If they can't make me discard my Depopulate, I do just destroy the Shieldred. Or we can just throw it back up. There's a land. Okay, so they do it. So they're going to get rid of all that stuff. My turn. We draw. We lose the life. We cast the Depopulate. I think we have to play that because he's probably just searched for another Shieldred. Or they're just going to bring it back from the graveyard, right? That got rid of the drain on their life with the Phyrexian Arena. They choose Heliod. So that means they get to bring back the Cruelty of Gix. And they can cast it again and see what's in my hand if they want. Or they could read ahead. That's really bad. Reach the multiverse. Arena pulled out the big guns for me, didn't they? I must have won too many times. And they've got 8 lands compared to my 5. And what can I do here? Not a lot. We can return this to my hand. We can go ahead and give you -X. And we can put down the land. It's not enough. They can just make me get rid of Heliod again. So Breach was the card they went looking for? They didn't go look for another Shieldred? Oh, an Obliterator. Okay. You're going to have to sacrifice that one, aren't you? They're going to have to sacrifice that. So they sacrificed that. Still have to worry about that. I didn't get the land I wanted. But... Three, four, three. I can't do the stun counters. And I can't gain the life. That's a token, right? Get rid of the token. Pass the turn. Not having enough land is really making me miss out on some of the stuff. Let's say exile a card. Okay, so we stall for time. We tap both of y'all. This makes them have to sacrifice the Phyrexian, right? Or no, they're going to get a zombie token they're going to make out of it instead. And that's got flashback, and I don't have Graveyard Hate. I'm just not able to catch up. They've got too many spells and too much they can do. I was hoping I'd get rid of the Obliterator by having them sacrifice it, but they're just going to sacrifice this thing. Plus, they can still cast that, which means I have to get rid of Heliod again. There's only one choice there. Why are we waiting? Hello? All right. We will... I can flash that in, right? 1, 2, welcome my shoe. I don't have enough land still. Okay, so get rid of the token. Pass the turn. They're going to lose 3 life searching their library for a card, but it's with my luck it's going to be another Shieldred. Still saving the Obliterator. This may be why they waited so long on Cruelty of Gix. They didn't want to get down to that low life. I need a blue land, right? 1, 2, 3. No, I can still phase out. Yeah, see, there we go. Draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Wow. They're really going down, aren't they? No, they get to draw the life. Oh, shoot. They're out of my ability to take them out. And now they get a gain life and crap like that. Which one do I do? I guess we just do it on you? I'm kind of running out of options here. Get rid of that again. To gain the life. I have to draw. That is not what I needed. And I can't draw with Silver Scrutiny now. It's too late because they got shielded out. Alright, if I do 1, 2, I'm dead. Nothing I could do. It was kind of close. If I'd had a little, just a tad more land, I could have kicked some stuff. Maybe I could have bounced everything I needed to. Close but no cigar. Still kind of it makes for an interesting match. I mean, you have a lot of extra decisions. The ability to flash things in at any point in time really has to force you to think more on your feet. But I still kind of like what I have overall. I guess I should probably have something to destroy artifacts and enchantments in here. The issue is if I put something in, it's only one spell, and I'd have to take something else out. I do have the 4 Prayers of Binding. I'm just not sure if that's enough. The Supply Drop didn't really come up. In that last, it would have been nice if I'd gotten an Erangiata to give me one additional possible resource off the top of my deck. So that didn't happen in the last round. But I think I like this deck. I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to play around with it some more. But as always, leave some notes in the comments. Let me know if you like it. Let me know what you would change about it. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.